All right, now the United States Department has released its 2020 report on human rights practices in Nigeria. The report found Nigeria wanting in several areas of respect for human rights, which include unlawful or extrajudicial killing, abusive practices by the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) of the Nigerian Police Force. It also specifically pointed at the sudden disappearance of persons through abductions in the country. It also cited prison and detention, arbitrary arrest and detention, poor treatment of detainees, opposition of press freedom, among other issues that need to be addressed by the government. Well, we have joined us now to discuss this, the U.S. Department 2020 report on human rights practices. He is a global affairs analyst, Ejike Okpa. It's good to have you join us on The World Now at this time. So let's get into this. From the United States Department report on human rights practices, what standouts for you in this report? Let's start from there first.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. The issue of human rights, it's not new to Nigeria. If you go back as long as you want to, you'll find out that this has been the same thing. Even though Nigeria is not a nation with such thing, we have issues of police brutality in America. But what is happening? The difference, however, is there's effort on this side of the pond to make things happen better. In the case of Nigeria, there's no effort. The Nigerian police is still a Gestapo kind of policing. Politicians use them to achieve their own goals, and anybody who can buy them can use them to do everything. And then, of course, when you go into Nigerian prison, you might as well, wish to be in hell than being in those kind of conditions. So, there should be effort. But that effort will not amount to anything if the Nigerian citizens, are not beginning to engage their political resources and say things has to be better, things has to improve. So the U.S. report is being the same thing. They just every year put a new date on it, but the conditions and the opinions have remained the same.
Of course, just like you mentioned, these are recurring issues that we have seen so far in Nigerian history. But is there a problem that we seem not to be addressing?
Yes, because the way the political structure is set up makes it almost impossible for the Nigerian citizens, to engage. The politicians decide what they want to do, and the people just, live out on their own devices. That has always been the case, even in a civilian situation of 22 years, working hard at democracy. The people have not engaged their political figures. Their political figures are in isolation. So that needs to change. What makes a country better is the people that are governed begin to tell the people who govern them, this is what we need. This is how we're going to have it done. And if you don't do it, we vote you out of office. I mean, there should be a positive change. But, it looks like Nigeria still has a military sort of approach to governing because Buhari is in isolation. Buhari doesn't come out and engage the population. He doesn't say anything. The only thing Nigeria sees is that he's on his way to London to go, get medical treatment. So that tells you in Nigeria probably in the next 50 years, it's not going to be any different. Because, the structure has not been able to effectively help them have a better country.
I think one striking thing for some persons in Nigeria that has, caused a stir on social media is the fact that this report absolves the Nigerian government from the shootings at the Lekki toll gate, which is contrary to the Amnesty International's report on this same incident.
Well, we don't have to really wait for Amnesty International. I appreciate, the global interest that everybody can have an opinion about certain country. But the Nigerians are the ones that are bearing the blunt of what is bad with the country. We don't have to wait. The shooting at the toll gate should be investigated, and those people involved should, face the law. But, what is Amnesty going to say? They're just going to say, oh, this is bad, this is going on. But what are the Nigerians? The Nigerians have laid back and allowed 36 plus 1 men and to make their life miserable. 200 plus million people or whatever the number is. And then the governors have, they rule as if they are mini presidents in their own state. So why should such a population be incapacitated by few people? The senators, all they do is move in entourage of cars. You know, people are being killed in Nigeria all the time. The police are even, now powerless to do anything. I think the Nigerians need to begin to take matters into their and ask their own people, we can do better than this. This is not the time of military rule. If Buhari cannot do the job, you guys have to let him know that. If the governors are not doing the job, use your state assemblies and get them out. We Nigerians should not be treated like doormats. Why in the land of your excellency? What is excellent about how they govern in Nigeria? Can anybody tell me? For 22 years, the Nigerian, way of life has been the same, dismissed, or has become dismissal in the eye of the people who are supposed to serve them. We don't need any international people to tell Nigerians that. Nigerians need to look around themselves and say, this is horrible. This is not the life in 21st century they should be living. So Amnesty International, we welcome their interest in making comments about Nigeria State Department. They say, well, but it's up to the Nigerians. It's up to them. They can't go around having certificates and degrees and having all these titles before and after their name, but it comes to their own country and they can't show anything that is good about their collective existence. It's really a shame.
Global Affairs Analyst Ejike Opah, thank you so much for your thoughts on the world now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.